Welcome folks to the action adventure recap. The first game that I took a look at was Mirror's Edge. I love the aesthetic of Mirror's Edge and have always been drawn to it. I watched others play and always wanted to play myself, but feared my complete lack of jumping skills would let me down. I challenged myself and I did it. I got through the whole game, which was amazing. The highly stylized look holds up even though the initial release was in 2008. When you are in the flow, it is simply mesmerizing to watch. From a playing standpoint, my heart raced so often as I stood on an edge looking for the next landing site while being shot at. The game had a good balance of stress and reward. Man, it felt so good when you finally figured out and executed a maneuver. I did have a bit of trouble with combat and find it interesting that only near the end did I notice when the guns turned red, and that was from having watched earlier footage. Learning to be a better gamer. Playing this game was challenging for me, but did a lot for my confidence, and confidence is a big part of getting better at games. Overall, I love this game and look forward to the next title in the series, Catalyst, that will have us enacting Faith's origin story. If you want to check out the trailer, I will include the link in the description below. Aside from giving me a good excuse to use my fancy teacups, Alice Madness Returns was an opportunity to play in a dark and quirky world. I've always been a fan of Alice in Wonderland lore, themes, and style. Again, because this game has such a specific style, it holds up, its original release date being 2011. There was a good balance of jumping puzzles to combat, though on occasion I was switched to a strange 2D view. My favorite part of the game was definitely the flavor, like the well-designed creatures. For instance, the teapots that would start to steam and shoot hot tea at you. I also love the creepy factor of Alice's hysteria mode. The weapons were okay and combat was pretty satisfying, albeit a bit challenging at times for my skill level. I like the Vorpal Blade the most for its impactful feel, and while the umbrella was stylistically cool, it was harder for me to master. I definitely enjoyed this game, and again rose to the occasion. There was a time where I would feel helpless to get past a puzzle or a boss, and would quit, but I now feel more equipped to push forward. This particular portion was challenging for me, and after attempting it a number of times on stream, it only took me, I believe, 3 attempts while listening to my jam, focusing, and recording. Remember Me. I definitely have some thoughts to share on this one. First, it combines parkour, combat, and puzzles in a very even way. The parkour doesn't really shine, but I'm okay with that since it's only a fraction of the game and not the focus like in Mirror's Edge. The combat I both hated and enjoyed, and here's why. I very much disliked being taken out of the flow of story and combat by having to click a button to take me out of the game and into a menu to customize fighting abilities. Being distracted by this shift, I didn't pay enough attention to really understand the customization till later in my gameplay. At that point I did kind of appreciate it, but still I think it could have been done in a better way. That being said, I really enjoyed the fighting. When allowed to just flow and hearing that music ramp up with a string of combos was just so satisfying. The memory-based combat and puzzle elements really added to the style of the game. This is important to me because without style, even shiny mechanics can dull. The thing is, this game did everything decent, and I love memory-based storylines that mess with your head, but still, it didn't grab me in the same way that other games did. I started to ask why that was. What was missing? I do think that the continued breaks to go into menus didn't help, but I started to wonder if this theme was difficult to translate to a game. I enjoy being a character, and this character didn't know herself, meaning how could I know her? I get that her motivations are based on uncovering who she is, but her seeming constant confusion without real desperation or frustration may have disconnected me. This being said, I do want to say that I think the voice acting in this is great, especially the main character. I did enjoy this game, and it is a bit more fighter, button masher than I'm used to, so it was a good diversity for me. I'm not a stranger to this genre, but I tried to pick some games that added elements that would challenge what I knew about games and gameplay. I did a full playthrough of Tomb Raider, if you want to check that out. I absolutely adored playing this game. It was amazing. It was the first game like it I had really played, and it cemented my desire to expand my repertoire and see what else I might really enjoy. If you want to expand your experience of action-adventure games, which is probably the largest and most diverse genre, you can check out some of these titles. The Batman series of games is pretty amazing. I haven't personally played, but I've watched my husband play through 2 games in the series and really enjoyed it, and I know he really enjoyed playing it. Assassin's Creed series of games is also very popular. Again, I haven't personally played, but I've watched others play, and it does have some really intriguing elements to it. There's also Lego Jurassic World, if you're looking for something a little bit cutesier. It has more, I think, puzzle elements to it, as most of the Lego games do, but it does have a good mix of things. There's also, if you're looking for something a little bit more open world, there's also Grand Theft Auto, which you can play through the actual story mode, or you can play open world. And then Last of Us, which is more of a survival action adventure game, if you want to kind of skirt the line of that as well. It is pretty interesting. As always, I recommend that you go and check out some of the info and gameplay on these titles to see if there might be something that you're interested in before you invest in them. I recently just discovered Geek Remix, and they are quite funny if you want to check out some Last of Us gameplay. I really enjoyed watching their playlist. Overall, I think this was a varied experience for action-adventure games, and I hope it inspires you to check out more games. I'd love for you to join me live on Twitch as I play titles for the next genre, puzzle platformers. Also note that YouTube releases will now be on Thursdays instead of Tuesdays, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you'd give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to join the journey to be a better versed and skilled gamer. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a game soon.